Told this story a few times in my content. So maybe you've heard it, maybe you haven't. But when I was growing up, I had a truly terrible speech problem. It was pretty bad. People did not know what I was saying. I would say something to, like if a woman at a store asked me a question when I was little, I would respond and then she would smile at me, but look at my mom to find out what I said. She had no idea what I was saying. I really wasn't able to talk fluently until I was about 12. So it was about 9 years of speech therapy. I still practice my sounds. I actually still, I have this thing where I can't quite remember certain sound combinations. So I'm continually practicing them. So lives are very terrifying. Currently not terrifying for me because I worked through a lot of it. And I have some things here I'm going to talk about how I go live despite having these issues and these concerns. I want to start with first addressing what some of those blocks are. The main blocks are that you might be coming up against. The top blocks, and I want you to really think about which are your top one to two, maybe you have three. I'm going to address each one of these in their own video in this module, but really see if you can identify as I'm reading these off, which one is your main block? Is the thing you're like, ooh, yep, it's that thing right there. So the first one is mindset. That was what I struggled with, right? I really had this mindset that I was still a 9-year-old kid that couldn't talk. And if I would go live or do an interview, people would have no idea what I was saying, or I would stutter so bad I would mess it up and it'd just be, a train wreck. So I had the mental block to get over. There's the person who thinks they're too much. They're too much this, they're too loud, they're too wild, they're too ridiculous, they're too something, they're too much of something. Honestly, in this day and age, you're not too much of anything. You're maybe a character, you may be unique, you're definitely interesting. So you're never too. The next one is perfectionism. Ooh, I went through a perfectionism phase. Also tech. People thinking, I just don't understand the tech enough to go live. I just don't understand the tech enough to really record videos. I just can't when I see everybody else's videos. The next one is imposter syndrome. Feeling that you can't talk on a subject or about a certain niche that you are looking to address. You just aren't as far along as you're supposed to be before you're allowed to talk about it. And then the last one is not sure what best practices are. Not sure, am I supposed to go live and introduce myself? Am I supposed to go live and then ask these questions? Am I supposed to post a video and then start with a certain sentence? Like just that kind of not fully understanding what the best practices are. So think about what your block is. No, I promise you, as someone who's truly been through it, I promise you that none of these blocks are unsurmountable. Absolutely every one of these are something you can overcome.